Soba is a soul food, which has been familiar from 500 years ago since Edo period. Eating soba at the last day of the year means to live long and thin like soba and hope family fortune. Soba contains rutin as nutrient, which keep elasticity of blood vessel. This prevents arteriosclerosis and high blood pressure. It also helps to promote vitamin C to absorb, which is known as anti-aging. Adding to vitamin C, it contains proteins, minerals, and multivitamins. These are important nutrients for our body. Soba has been eaten long time for auspicious food in Japan, since it is healthy and good for diet. Nowadays, their machine-made soba is distributed. However, the epitome of soba is handmade soba. Handmade soba contains particular al dente and rich flavor, attracted many people. In this DVD, Mr. Shibata will show us the traditional soba making. His store is placed in Osaka City, 25 minutes away from metropolitan area. Maruka Soba restaurant is known as long-established store since 1976. Soba making is art. It has been loved in Japan from long time, and it will be known in the world as beautiful soba making. Let us show the style and technique in this DVD. There are 3 points to make delicious soba. 1. Hachi, soba mixing bowl. 2. Noshi, rolling out the dough. 3. Hocho, the soba knife. Especially the work in the soba mixing bowl is the most important. Here you will form a dough of buckwheat flour. By applying water equally to the buckwheat flour, you can make the soba strong enough not to be broken while rolling out the dough. First, measure the buckwheat flour. You need 800 grams. Add 800 grams to the weight of the ball. Next, measure the hard flour as a binding agent. Add 200 grams to the weight of the ball. Then, prepare the 800 grams of the buckwheat flour, the 200 grams of the hard flour, and 470 milliliters of water. Shift the buckwheat flour and the hard flour using a mesh shifter. To break small balls and apply water equally to the flours, shift and mix them. Pour 80% of the water, 360 milliliters, into the ball. Incline the cup and apply water to the hole little by little, while your left hand is moving clockwise as you are cutting the flowers. Open hands and bend fingers to avoid the flowers from adhering to your palm. Then move your hands inward, just like the opposite of breaststroke. Strike the flowers against another. Mix them as if your hands containing some water are cutting the flowers, in order to and make them into small pieces to apply water equally to each grain of the flowers. Move your hands from the top of the ball to the bottom, making the flowers smaller as you are breaking sand. Do this 8 to 12 times until the lumps of the flour becomes the same size. To make a soba ball, add 90 ml of water from the remaining water. Open your hands again, but this time your palms should touch the bottom of the ball and move them inward. Little by little, make small lumps bigger balls. While doing this, at first cut the flowers the fingers to penetrate water into the flowers. When the balls become about 2 cm, removing the flowers from your hands, sprinkle the remaining water with a hand to the whole flowers to wet the ball. If you pour the water directly, the water part will get too much moisture, so be careful. Divide the balls into 2. Push and spread the balls using the edge of the ball. Then gradually make them into 2 big balls. Roll the 2 balls until the surface becomes smooth. Combine 2 balls into 1 ball. Use the edge of the ball in front of you and push vertically using your body weight with your elbow stretched to make its surface smoother. By pushing the dough, it sticks out from the sides and becomes long and narrow. Then place it vertically and push it using the edge of the ball to make long and narrow again. Repeat this 6 times. From now, let's make the surface smoother and remove air from inside. This process is called kikuneri. Use your right hand and knead the ball from outside to inside and push it straight forward. Then, use your left hand to roll and pull it toward your body. Push the part which was pushed out with your right hand to the center. Repeat this to complete kikuneri. Place the chrysanthemum-shaped dough in the ball facing down and roll it along the edge of the ball. Hold the bottom of the ball with your left hand and the side with your right hand and form a cone-shaped dough. Push the top of the cone to make a disc of 18 cm in diameter. This is the last work in the ball. Sprinkle the kneading counter with a little dusting powder. Place the disc-shaped dough on the counter and sprinkle the dusting powder on it. Then, use your both hands to spread the dough little by little to the uniform thickness. Too much dusting powder may make the dough hard and easy to break, so make sure that you can slightly see the powder on the surface. Spread side of the disc gently with your both hands. At this point, the center of the disc is little elevated. Then, make the center flat by using your hands to shape a disc of 36 cm in a diameter. As the edge of the dough can be most contacted with air and become easy to break, place your left hand at the edge. Put your right hand on your left hand and push the dough like weaving it inside. Form a circle by pushing the dough 7 times and turning it by 45 degrees. We will use a rolling pin from now. Use the rolling pin with your fingers bent. This is called cat hands. With your cat hands, roll the rolling pin by moving your hands from inside to outside like a breaststroke. Stroke 5 times and turn the dough by 45 degrees. Repeat this until the dough becomes about 55 cm in diameter. Sprinkle the dough with dusting powder and then place your hands under the dough. Hold up the dough and wind it around the wrapping pin from the edge of the dough in front of you. With the dough wrapped around the wrapping pin, roll out the dough by pushing it with your hands while rolling the pin from outside to inside 5 times. Repeat this 3 times. Rotate the wrapping pin with the dough around it by 180 degrees. Spread the dough from one side to the other. Now the dough is rugby ball-like shaped. Wind the dough around the wrapping pin again and roll it out from the side to inside as you did before. Now the dough is a square of side about 80 cm and its thickness is about the height of 2 1-yen coins. Continue to form the dough into a square. Wind the half of the dough around the wrapping pin, then sprinkle the dusting powder. Use the rolling pin to roll out the left side of the dough first, then the right, and the center. If you roll out too strongly, you may break the dough, so you need to do this quickly and a little at a time. In order not to waste the dough when slicing, try to form a square with the dough. Roll it out until its thickness becomes about the height of 1 1-yen coin. Then the other side should be rolled out in the same manner. Place the wrapping pin with the dough around it on the left side of the counter. Fold the dough into 3. Spread the generous amount of dusting powder on the counter to avoid adhering. To slice easily, use wrapping pin to hold the dough vertically twice from your side. Spread the powder adequately as well. Place the cutting board. Spread the dusting powder as if you make a space between the board and the dough. Put the dough on the powder and sprinkle the powder on the dough as well, to avoid sliced soba from adhering to one another. Let's slice the dough with the soba knife. Hold the handle of the knife with your thumb and forefinger stretched like making a gun shape. Support the edge of the cutting board with your thumb and forefinger, while the middle and the third fingers are bent and the fifth finger is stretched to support the bottom of the board. Place the board at the edge of the dough with the knife touching the board. Move the board with the knife, then slice the dough. The thickness of the soba is determined by the width of moving. Check the thickness and slice the soba 44 times. After slicing the soba 44 times, move the sliced soba with the knife. Check if the soba is not adhering to one another by putting the top of the blade between the dough and the cutting board. Remove the powder, otherwise the moisture in soba will be absorbed by the powder and the soba will become easy to break. Divide sliced soba into a few and move it to the container. When the amount of the remaining dough becomes small, slice it with the knife moved upward. With plenty of water, boil 35 seconds. Increase from kettle within 5 seconds. Next, add soba noodle in running water and wash well. This helps noodle to take a slimy surface. It also helps to maintain rich taste of soba. Serve on seido, noodle designated plate, and it's ready to eat.